Hi and welcome to an OmniEffect presentation. Today we're going to look at OmniEffect Showcase, specifically a media browser application written for a client. To select the media browser application, we open up it from the link from the OE Showcase homepage. Selecting the link launches the application. It then presents us with a login screen. The login here is actually authenticated against a database table, so a number of users that are logged inside a database table provides us with the authentication of guest in this case and his password. I simply log in with the correct password and I'm presented with this application. OE Media is basically about presenting different types of media and allowing me to view it in a comfortable desktop-like environment. I can select an image on the right, and on the left you can see the details change per that selection. Even if I've selected a file, an item type that is not an image, you'll see that it will give me a thumb and basically a gist of what it thinks that document is about. So if I move around and scroll, you see that it's quite dynamic. Other items to note on the media browser is that there's a filter window or pod, an action pod, and a details pod. On the right hand side there are a number of menu buttons that I can select to execute an action. For example, if I wish to view this selected image, I can simply press open button. The open button will produce a tiled window. The tiled window then displays the selected image and allows me to scroll that image. Notice that there's also a progress bar and a loading percent of how much of that image has been downloaded. So for slow bandwidth, such as modems, you'll see that the progress bar will continue to download and give us an indication of how far the image is downloaded. I can select the next button and that will take me to the next image. Notice that the image cleanly fades back and forth as I move through each image. If the image is actually downloaded, it will be cached, and so if there's no need to load the image, it will load immediately. I can close that view and then perform other actions with this application. For example, if I want to now search in the images, one of the unique tools of the OE Media application is its ability to search in the image itself. I can actually find the image by description. So for example, if I wanted to see the city view, I simply type in the filter city % and then press the filter button. You notice that the right hand pane grid now shows me the media item city view. I can then clear that filter and it will show me all the images again. What happens if I wanted to find a similar image? Notice that I'm moving over two images which are very similar. They even have the same name in file name and description. This particular application doesn't actually do filtering and matching on descriptions and file names. That's possible, but OE Media specializes in being able to find other images very similar. Notice over here on the left hand side you can find an image by color, texture, shape and location. If I select an image on the right here, this winter JPEG file, and press similar button, it will filter the grid finding a matching image. So I've already matched an image against this image. So if you notice, there are two images that are alike. This is particularly useful if you're trying to find images which have similar patterns, textures and shapes and colors. For example, let's look at these two flowers. Notice there's a lot of green in there. I can bend the search criterion for more color. I also have a threshold to which I can say what varying degree of color, texture, shape and location am I interested in finding. So if I've selected this image and select I'm more interested in color and press similar, I should find the other green flower. This is an excellent tool for comparing images inside databases and large media collections. It's a great way of finding duplicate images within your system, but the most important piece is that you can actually find by texture and shape. So if there's something in the image that you're specifically looking for example writing or notable objects that are on a clear background, it's possible to find more of the same. A useful application would be in a travel program. Find more of the same of this picture. Say for example a scene of a beach or hotel, for example. Find more beaches, find more hotels that look like this. So this is possible. Another feature is the ability to edit the information in place. So I can select this image and press Edit Grid. I can go into the description and type something new. Notice that I can edit anything about this grid. Once I'm happy with the change, I can press Save Grid. That's now updated the database with the relevant metadata. Another neat aspect is to be able to change the views. You notice this particular view is a list of all of the images, very similar to a Windows effect. So I can flick between the views at will. Another aspect of this being a rich internet application is the ability to drag and drop. If I like this image, I can drag it to a bag of actions, and I can create a list of items that I'm interested in. I can then provide an action item on this bag to say add these or zip these or email these or print these in some sort of collection. Next, the ability to put images in and out of the system, or media items. With Flash Player 8, you've got the ability to upload and download directly from this application. All I need to do is select the media type, a document, a picture, music item or video, and then press upload. So we'll go and try and find a picture. I can select browse, go to my documents, maybe there's some pictures I can select. There's a sample, there's an image. I can select open and then I can press upload. This now uploads and you can see the progress of the image uploading into the database. The database is now indexing this image so I can later retrieve it as a similar or do an image matching process on it. This will then turn completed once the action has completed indexing. Whilst that's doing that, I can move on with the application. So the upload process is not a singular event for me and doesn't block anything else I want to do. So I can still continue on with moving about this application. Notice that that's now completed and it's bringing the image back. But in the meantime I was able to select other images. Not just do I have images in this database, I also have text files like spreadsheets. Notice over here on the details pane, I'll just move that into view with a drag, that I'm getting a summary of what this spreadsheet here is about. I can indeed, using my actions, download that spreadsheet. So I can press download and I can push the download to a location I want, so the desktop. Notice that it's saved and completed and push that file to the desktop. I can double click on that spreadsheet and note that the contents of the spreadsheet was equal to the gist match. So I can put any type of content into this system and index it and then find it again. For example, I can use the search facilities to simply search inside documents. For example, I have a PowerPoint here. This PowerPoint contains words and it's now providing me with a gist. So I see there's some words about what it's relatively about. So it's something about Flex. So I can come up to my search and simply type Flex, and I note that it's brought back two documents. One is the PowerPoint, which I saw. Another is a brochure which contains the word Flex. Notice that that's a PowerPoint document and this is a PDF. So you can indeed select documents, get the gist of the document and search inside them. All of the Office documents are available to be able to index and find again. Notice that the gist brings me back a paragraph summary. It's pretty basic of what's there. You can not only just bring back the gist of a document, you can highlight, mark up, text, anything that standard web browsers deliver today you can achieve with this system. So I can clear that filter and move back to where I was with the viewing. More interesting with the Flash Player and Flex is that I'm able to introduce other content. For example, I can bring in music. So I've selected this MP3 file. This MP3 file is indeed stored within the database. I can select open, and it will bring to me a standard media browser. Notice that it's actually streaming the information to me, and I can hear the audio at the same time. So this is a very effective way of combining rich media types and being able to present them to the user. So the media streaming capability could be of not just music, it could be court reports, it could be other recorded information that's relevant to us. Once it's inside the database, we can then use the middle tier Power to then interrogate and inspect what that media type is and tell us more information about it. So I can click close and I can open up another media item. So I select open. Notice that it's streaming to me and it's relatively quick. Here I can grab the thumb and drag back and forth. So this is all stored within the database, and it just allows me to move within this actual media document itself. So I can close that. Another aspect that's quite interesting is the ability to be able to modally present windows, but to have multiple windows open at the same time. Not only that, you can have multiple windows plus music playing at the same time. So I'm getting quite an experience with this application. It's more than just a media player, it's a desktop media tool. Anyway, I will leave you with that and end this presentation and hope that you've been able to get something from it.